Dana Abercrombie, The Koalition. Thank you, both of you, for being in this movie and giving these characters all new voices again. And for both of your characters, they were expanded, especially compared to what we've seen in the original movie musical. So for both of you, I was wondering, with this interpretation, how as actors did you go about learning the motives of your characters and the reasoning behind their actions? David?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were incredibly lucky to have a writer like Tony Kushner, who had developed these characters and really brought a lot of depth to these characters. And so it wasn't really that hard. All the work was already done by the time we showed up and put what we wanted to put into it. So it was a really beautiful process. It was very collaborative. And yeah, I'm very grateful that we were able to work with legends like Tony Kushner, Steven Spielberg, just a whole incredible creative team to bring these characters to life. And it made it so much easier for us when we finally came to set. There was a really good idea of what these characters should be already.
Is that the same for you?
Yeah, I was going to kind of tag along with that and say, I think there's a lot to be said about the writing that Tony Kushner did for the script, and also like the open-mindedness that Steven Spielberg had to let us explore sort of the nuance of these characters and build these relationships. And we had a really, really nice opportunity to kind of, do it from scratch a little bit with this sort of more nuanced and broad approach towards like our particular arcs. And yeah, it was nice. We had a lot of freedom to explore, and we had great direction and great writing. So it's like David said, I mean, they made it very easy for us. Yeah.
Right. Now, what I absolutely loved and was like fainting in the theater, I speak Spanish. And I was like, can you talk about the importance of something so small, but meaning so much to so many people? Josh?
Yeah, wait, the speaking Spanish portion?
Yes.
I love something that I really loved. I wasn't sure if they were going to put subtitles. I'm so glad they did. I think it really added to the immersion. And I think when you talk about like the cultural importance of it, it's like this is just happening in real life. It doesn't break that immersion at all. And I think it was very important to sort of just see the cultural depth that these people have. And yeah, I loved that. It was great. I don't really know. David, do you have anything to say?
I mean, I think it's also a sign of respect to the Spanish language. I mean, a third of the world speaks Spanish. So I thought it was really beautiful and kind of revolutionary what Steven Spielberg did in this case, to not add subtitles, and Tony Kushner to want to add more authentic Puerto Rican 1957 slang Spanish. So it was just an incredible process to be a part of. And it made me so proud that this is allowed. This can happen in a big movie, and I think it's kind of setting the tone for future productions and within the industry to really take a look. If Steven Spielberg is willing to do this and willing to respect the culture and really willing to bring authenticity to his project, and I think he's kind of leading by example, and everyone's going to follow along after this.
All right. Now, what I was wondering for both of your characters, it's very easy to say, things would have been solved if you just talked to each other. And there's a moment where it kind of is that dialogue, but it doesn't go out according to plan. I was wondering, without any spoilers, is there a moment, or is there still an opportunity for the characters to still understand each other? Josh?
Yeah, I suppose it depends on which character you're talking about. But I think I don't know if fun is the right word. I mean, watching it, I think it's very frustrating because you are with the outside perspective being like, you guys could understand each other if you just tried. But there's a stubbornness in a lot of people that's very territorial, very culturally based, on one side, more territorial than cultural, obviously, than the other. But it does get a little bit frustrating watching it. And I think it really adds to kind of the message of the whole thing, because you as an audience member are just like, this hatred doesn't really make a lot of sense if they just communicated about it, Right. But then because of the stubbornness of those characters, I mean, yeah, but talk about that, David, because that has more to do with it.
It's just incredible to see how fear and hatred can destroy everything. And we're not even aware of it within humanity. and you take a look at just our society, and it's a big problem. We have a hard time really understanding each other and trying to talk to each other. So this whole movie, we can actually just be like, whoa, wait, let's stop. We're on the same team here. Like we're being divided and conquered on. Let's kind of unite, and you know, there's a bigger enemy than us. And this can happen throughout the entire movie, all the way up to the end, but it doesn't happen because of fear, because of hatred, because of not understanding the other side. And I think that's like that tension that is just revolving around the story the entire time.
Right. Now, as Chino, I was wondering at that very end of what he ends up doing, do you feel that there is still a moment? Does he have regret for him to fully understand what he did?
Yes, I personally believe so. I mean, I tried to embody that as much as I could while filming that scene, because I really think that he felt, at least, that he had no other choice, that he was cornered into doing it, and that was the logical response to, I'm really trying to dance around like the actual plot points.
Right.
In his brain, I think it seemed like he didn't want to, but he felt like he had to. And as soon as he did it, I think he really understood what he had done. And I think there was a lot of regret there. I think that's what makes him such a tragic character, and why it was so much fun to play him, is because there was so much like meat and potatoes to that emotional process that led him to where he ended up. Because initially he obviously starts out as like a polar opposite of where you expect him to go. And that's what's so fun about watching it.
Wonderful. Thank you, both of you. Oscar nominations, both of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.